For 1 week every year, black limousines and helicopter services replace skis and snowboards as the preferred vehicles to move from A to B in snowy Davos. It's the time of the World Economic Forum. In the midst of this gathering of world leaders from all sectors of life, in 2019 were the mayors and experts from the SDG Lab. 25 cities from all continents have committed to implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 global goals developed by 193 heads of states with the support of the United Nations and agreed in September 2015. This 25+5 SDG Cities Leadership Platform was initiated by the UN Director General in Geneva, Michael Müller, and the Mayor of Heidelberg, Professor Dr. Eckhard Würzner, 1 year ago at the Davos SDG Lab 2018.
Well, it's the first time in history that all the world leaders, whether they are coming from Muslim backgrounds, from Catholic backgrounds, from communist backgrounds, whether they live in a democracy or they live in a dictatorship, they all have agreed on one compass. And this one compass, these so-called global goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 of them, to not only be defined as a very concrete goal, no poverty, zero hunger, education for everybody, but they added to this, for the first time ever, a timeline. They said by 2030, the latest, we want this to be a reality in Afghanistan, in Norway, in Zimbabwe, all over the world.
Everybody, when I say everybody, I talk about civil society, about the business community, about the academic community, about the UN community, about the kids, the young people. Everybody gets it. It's a simple, very powerful idea that everybody has understood they can be part of to implement. I've never seen that before. I've worked for 40 years for the UN, and it's the first time I see that an idea, simple but powerful in its messaging, is catching on because it makes sense.
The SDG is a wonderful global, igniter of energy, an igniter of focus for the world. It's relevant, appropriate, and universal. It affects everybody because of the interrelatedness of the activities therein. Global health, you talk about education, the environment, you name it, investment. The greater there is parity, the greater there is near to a common bottom line for everybody, the greater peace and prosperity there is.
My connection is my belief in SDG and my belief in sustainable energy and my belief in how we can take the energy that's being wasted and stop it from being wasted and set up technology and propagating technology and knowledge that will help people understand individually how to get involved in projects where we are making the world a better place.
The 12 events in 5 days at the Hilton Hotel in Davos, just across the street from the WEF Conference Center, were extremely focused in 2019. They were based on SDG 17, Good Partnership. The 25+5 are improving cooperation on all levels of politics, education, research, business, health, and NGOs. All participants are working hard to develop better solutions to fast-tracking the 17 global goals and raising the money needed to achieve them. These 25+5 SDG cities, as well as 5 indigenous communities, are playing the role of lighthouses for the other 1,000 cities around the world. They're working together in 5 groups of 5 cities based on size and academic focus. Each city has its own SDG footprint and challenge so that they will become role models who inspire everyone around the globe to join the race to meet the goals in 2030, by which time the SDGs have to become a reality everywhere with nobody left behind.
We need a good collaboration between the nations, between the cities, between the universities, between the investors, between the companies, and especially between the people and the actors. And I think this SDG agenda is bringing all the actors together.
I deeply believe that we need these lighthouses, these 25 cities and the 5 indigenous communities to help now build the trust for everybody that they see this is possible.
Our role is to mobilize the cities to do these concrete activities, because everything is based on partnerships and collaboration. Local communities want to act on this issue, and that's why the whole spectrum of SDGs is so crucial.
Just being part of a platform like this, do something with the motivation. So it has already started a process back in Accra where we are mapping what we are already doing, linking them to the SDGs to also see where are the policy gaps, where are the other action gaps that we need to fill. So in that sense, just being part of a family or partnership is quite powerful in itself.
I guess my key takeaway from these days has to do with how even fairly prosperous parts of the world, like Trondheim, like the Nordics, are facing challenges that far exceed the political, financial, and even intellectual capacity of places like Trondheim. So we're really exploring ways of mobilizing resources, putting out there the open questions, and trying to find partners, private, public, NGOs, who can actually be part of the mobilization of the resources and ideas and basically the innovations that we need to attain the SDGs.
There are so many things to do, to make a change. Cities, they know exactly what they shall do, but sometimes, there are too many things they have to do at the same time. So if we are able to prioritize, the actions a city needs to take over the next years, and then look what would be the impact of those actions on the environment, on carbon emissions, on air quality, on the society. We could easily prioritize these measures and at the same time look how can these measures be financed, how can these measures be implemented, what needs to be done, which partners have we bring in.
From our mandate, what we are doing is to promote investment into the sustainable development sectors. That means education, health, infrastructure, so on and so forth, all these goals. But the key issue is that no investment, no achievement of the goals.
They identify the leadership cities, cities that want to try to make an extra effort and to have maybe the capacity or the interest, and by invitation, inviting in cities that they think can have solutions that can be of interest of others, that are willing to share their knowledge, to teach and to also learn and improve, and also teach others how you improve yourself as a city. And all these cities that are here has kind of committed to being open to this.
I'm here representing the city of Noida and Greater Noida in India, which have just joined the SDG leadership platform, being the 25+5 cities. So it's a big event for India. It's a watershed moment in many ways, because the state in which Noida and Greater Noida are, the Uttar Pradesh or UP, is the most populous state in India. These are the showcase cities of that state, and it's right next to the national capital. So it mirrors both a combination of urban and rural problems, and also shows lots of investments by all the stakeholders. So I thought it represented a very good laboratory for this wonderful vanguard global experiment that we're on.
Our role with the SDGs is to bring that methodology to the cities so that we can actually deliver a well-being program that supports children through WIS Kids, adults, WIS at Work, WIS Seniors, which looks after falls prevention, quality of life, loneliness, and then WIS Green, which looks after energy, waste and water, and then tech. So it's all to do with health and well-being.
The message sent from the SDG lab to the other participants in Davos was crystal clear. Constructive disruption is possible, as long as all realize that based on the spirit of teamwork, meeting even the toughest challenges is possible. Whether that's overcoming poverty, building a high-quality health system, which is open to everybody, improving the quality of and access to lifelong learning, or even tackling climate change. Davos is the perfect place to accelerate efforts, to address all those challenges and to find new solutions.
We need to think right and we need to act fast.
Let's stop talking, let's start acting. We don't have to wait for anything. Everything is on the table. We know exactly what needs to be done. We have already identified the right methods, the right partners.
All the cities around the globe, they are very interested about this SDG, that we have to take action. There's a lot of discussions, but we need concrete action.
Just let's get started. Let's start collaborating. Let's move towards a knowledge economy, a shared economy. I believe we have the resources. Now it's about us working together and to deliver the SDGs.
Look, we have a world that has some really serious, big existential problems. We have to move very quickly to find solutions for climate, for migration, for health, for corruption, for a whole series of issues that cannot be solved by any one country, any one organization, any one person. We have to do it together. We have to do it in partnership. And if we do, then we have a chance of fixing some of these big problems. We are in a major hurry, particularly on climate.
We wanted to achieve sustainable goals, change the global economy into this direction, and set up clear targets in 25, 2030, 2050. So we have a clear commitment and we are not just talking, we're acting.
Every mayor going back to their city so they can start, let's say, the real action. What do you do in the next 30 days and next 3 months? Because that has been the key here. Don't wait, don't talk. Keep on experimenting, piloting, prototyping, and then scaling up with the others.
I purposefully decided to come because this is where global leaders meet with global business leaders and global civic movement leaders, focused on a single objective: make the world better. How noble. And no airs, no egos are carried about, and there are no big brothers, small brothers, there's no pecking order. We just come to talk and exchange ideas with the objective of enhancing one another.
This is a great opportunity to all researchers, all innovators around the globe to scale it up, their innovations. And we need to go towards the better world, and we go towards the better world by the innovations.
You saw there was a fantastic energy in the room, a lot of people who want to get on with it, people understand the urgency, and so it was a good day.
Well, it really has to do with the people around the table. It's a very impressive gathering of knowledge, of resources and experience. And coming to Davos, coming to the SDG lab here has completely opened our eyes to the possibilities and for us to truly boldly reimagine what such an initiative can mean to these cities.
It's been so rewarding because we help people build better lives in so many countries where people are underserved, and we are here as a broker, honest broker, the catalyst who can help things happen on the ground. And we see that if we partner with the right people, we can do so much more.
Unfortunately, we have still enough people who believe that the Cold War is still on, and as a German I can tell you the wall is down. Cold War is over. You might not believe it, but it's over. The new game is called global goals, and this new game is win-win. It's no longer I win and you lose. That was Cold War. And although it's a little cold here in Davos, I feel the sun, and I can tell you we make it happen.
The vision is to reinforce the kinds of partnerships that we have created here today across the board, with as many partners as possible, as many cities as possible, as many governments as possible, as many individuals as possible, to get ourselves moving as a human race. We need to solve these problems. Otherwise, we will not be here for much longer.
But these 5 days in Davos are just the starting point. All 25 SDG cities will create their own global events in 2019 in order to keep each other and the rest of the world informed about progress and learning. On May the 23rd, they will meet in Oslo. From June the 6th to the 8th, the SDG champions from the corporate world will gather in Espoo. And a few weeks later, all will meet again in New York at the United Nations High-Level Political Forum. As of 2019, the best performers from politics, education, health, business, media and NGOs will gather for the Global Goals Conference each December. It's not decided where this annual celebration will take place, but rumors indicate Berlin will play a big role, bringing back to life all the memories around the fall of the Berlin Wall 30 years ago. This message is strong and resonates well beyond the mountains and valleys of Davos. As long as enough people from all age groups, religions and political systems unite in the spirit of partnership, these 17 SDGs will become a reality. The money and the know-how to implement the global goals by 2030 already exist. Now, all it takes is bringing down the wall in our heads. Do you want to join? Visit www.ungsii.org or just send us an email, info@ungsii.org.